anyone who isn't speaking to please mute your microphone to avoid any background noise. And as soon as you can, please comment in the chat section your name and high school. We value relationships very much here at NU, and we'd like to give a better sense of who's here with us today. Since we plan to dedicate plenty of today's program to answering your questions, feel free to begin typing your questions into the chat section as early as you would like, even right now. We'll answer as many as we can in just a little while. Now that we got that out of the way, we can move on to fill you in on what makes Niagara University different from any other institution you'll come across. I honestly cannot believe that I was in your exact shoes just 4 years ago. Back then, I knew that college was a place that you go to help you grow. The last thing I wanted to do was graduate as the same person that I was at the beginning of my journey. When I found Niagara University, I found a supportive campus community that was passionate about my success. I found faculty that showed me how to translate my classroom learning into real-world experiences. I found ways to connect with others, push myself outside my comfort zone, and become a leader. I was able to find my confidence, my clarity of direction, and my heightened sense of purpose. Through my involvement with the Niagara University Student Government Association, I got to meet some pretty incredible people, including today's featured speaker, my dear friend, Cheyenne Freely. Cheyenne was our student body president in 2019 and graduated with undergraduate degrees in political science and international studies. She was also a pre-law student at NU and is now studying to become a lawyer at Georgetown Law. Some of you may recognize Cheyenne from our TV billboard and billboard ads, and it is my pleasure to share a quick video with all of you of where Cheyenne shares some of her highlights about her Niagara University experience and how her time here as a student has brought her to where she is today.
First, I really want to commend all of you for attending today's open house. As a student who had to adjust to online learning this past semester and is gearing up for another semester of online learning, I understand how hard it can be to go from engaging in-person interaction to an online medium. But your attendance today demonstrates your dedication to finding a school that fits you and fits your needs. Many of you may have an idea of what you want your college experience to be like, from the social experience to academics, athletics, skill building, and more. I am here to tell you from my own personal experience that Niagara is dedicated to providing you with the college experience you envision for yourself. As a university ready and willing to adapt to student needs, Niagara is dedicated to being that perfect match for a wide array of students. As Bridget previously stated, I graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science and International Studies, but also minors in pre-law and criminal justice. But thinking back to my time as a junior in high school at Mount St. Mary Academy, I remember feeling very overwhelmed. I was getting all these emails and mailers that don't stop after you pick a school, by the way, and I did not know what to look for in a college. Niagara, however, stood out. While other colleges present students with their programs, class sizes, or clubs, Niagara asks. Readily evident in our amazing academic exploration program, Niagara asks what it can do for you and how it can help you reach your own forms of success. Don't see a class you think you'd be interested in? Design your own class as an independent study with your professor. Don't see a club you think you'd be interested in? Make your own. It's really just that simple. In my own time there, I was presented with so many opportunities that helped me reach my goals. Given these opportunities and associated skills, I was able to get into my first choice law school and my first choice summer internship. I was prepared for law school in ways that my peers from bigger schools unfortunately were not. The biggest example of this came about this past semester when I competed against over 90 other students from a wide array of schools, many of which were Ivy League, in Georgetown's annual moot court competition. Despite the stiff competition, I relied on my experiences in the pre-law program at NU and managed to become one of the 4 finalists. In addition to the career skills and academics, Niagara is a place where you will build social bonds that will last you a lifetime. Whether it be through clubs you join, the dorms you live in, classes, or social events, Niagara offers an amazing social experience and overall, a well-rounded college experience, which is tailored to you. Fond memories and success during and after graduation are not unique to myself. I know of many NU graduates who are successful in their respective graduate schools or careers, and who are also extremely close to their friends and mentors from NU. This is the norm that NU can tailor to your experience and to your goals. This whole process of researching schools, attending open houses, and picking a school can be very overwhelming. So what I want you to take from this is what Niagara can offer to you. It's what it offers to all of its current students and what it has offered to all of its past students. Why Niagara? Because Niagara offers you a customizable and enjoyable college experience that will shape your personhood, guide your clarity and direction, and give you the skills necessary to succeed.
It's always great to hear about the incredible success our alumni are having. Cheyenne's story is just one of many here at Niagara U. Before I turn the mic over to one of our admissions counselors, I just want to remind you to keep typing those questions into the chat window, and don't forget to add your name and your high school. Now we'll turn our attention to what you need to know about the admissions and financial aid process as part of your college search. Joining us today for an overview on admissions and financial aid is Emily Olzak, Senior Assistant Director of Admissions. Emily, what should our guests know about navigating the college search process and getting their best fit college?
Thanks, Bridget. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to go over briefly what we are looking for in the Office of Admissions as well as for financial aid. So our criteria this year has changed a little bit, but we are sticking to the regulars of we accept our Niagara application as well as the common application. We are rolling admissions. So what that means is that we do not have specific deadlines. You are able to apply all throughout the school year. When you submit your application, we are also in need of a transcript, letters of recommendation. We always say have 2 to 3 letters of recommendation for students. An essay, which I can speak on behalf of my entire team, is probably our favorite part. Nothing is too big or too small to write about. And an essay is specifically required for nursing applicants this year in regards to why you want to become a nurse. And it's really great to add an activities resume if you are applying through our application, our own personal application, because of the fact you are able to list everything you're involved in. We know that you guys are staying very active, whether that's in athletics, playing an instrument, even working. So it's important to list all those things. And we call that a brag sheet. You know, this is where you can, explain what you're doing and really shine. So this year we have been test optional for the past couple of years. We've been very fortunate, but with everything going on, we have decided to become test optional for all majors, including our nursing and biology. So I think that's pretty unique and special to us this year. We can't, fault you if you guys were not able to take the test. It is not your fault. We understand that. And so we wanted to give you guys an opportunity to apply to those majors, even without test scores. Once you apply, merit-based scholarships are based on your application. So when you receive your acceptance letter, you will also get your merit-based scholarship, and it'll be included right in your letter. So our Eagle Experience Scholarship, this is brand new this year, new for all of us. And it's a chance for students to receive $1,500 for the incoming seniors for your freshman year next year at Niagara. And there's 3 things that you need in order to qualify, which I think are pretty simple. So from being here today, you have checked off one of the 3 requirements. The second one is to connect with your admissions advisor. So each school has a certain admissions advisor attached to them. Get to know this person. We are your biggest advocate. And the third thing is to apply by November 15th. So 3 very simple things. We know that deadline is quickly approaching. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your admissions counselor. So like I said, get to know your specific admissions counselor. We are your biggest advocate, and we are here to help make this process a lot easier for you. We know it has not been an easy year, and we want to make it as easy as possible. So we are here to answer any questions. Nothing is too big or too small. And also, this is a chance to brag about yourself. You guys are doing some pretty extraordinary things, and it's okay. We want to hear about those things. Those are the kind of students we're looking for. So we are rolling admissions, so no specific deadlines besides that Eagle Experience Scholarship, but we always tell students earlier the better. You know, if you can be done with everything by Thanksgiving, you can kind of sit back and enjoy and the rest of your senior year and focus on other things. And the FAFSA did open up October 1st, so a little over a month ago. So make sure you start filling those out as well. And I'm going to talk about the financial aid process coming up. So this is our contact information. So if you want to get in touch with your admissions counselor, I tell students, take a picture of this. That's the easiest way to remember everything. We are available Monday through Friday, and then they can always get you in touch with your admissions counselor if you have not spoken with them yet. So financial aid. Now I'm going to talk about the fun part of, just kidding, the financial aid piece of things. So we, when you receive your merit-based scholarship with your letter of acceptance, it is broken down. So they range from $23,000 to $10,000. Even this year, being test optional, our students are still able to receive that highest merit-based scholarship of the $23,000, that trustee scholarship. So in the past, you have not been able to receive that without submitting test scores, but this year we have changed that. So all students are eligible to receive the highest merit-based scholarship, which is pretty exciting. So the FAFSA, which stands for Free Application for Federal and Student Aid. I'm sure you have heard this over and over again, whether it is from your admissions counselor, whether it is from your counselor at school. This is the determining factor and eligibility for aid and merit scholarships. So it is so important to apply for the FAFSA. The application opened up October 1st. And it's based on the 2019 taxes. And we always want to stress to students that a lot has changed probably since 2019, right? And we understand that. And there's ways to go about that to let that know, because your taxes might not reflect your current situation. So we want students to be aware of that, and that's where you become very close with your admissions counselor, and we can put you in touch with financial aid to disclose. And that is if you feel comfortable to share if things have changed in the past few months. So we are open and willing to help you with anything you may need. We always recommend students to complete that by Thanksgiving. Again, like I said, you get that off your plate and you can sit back and relax for the rest of your senior year. So our financial aid office works tirelessly. They are incredible. They start sending out packages in early January if you have submitted your FAFSA already. And by Thanksgiving, they start sending them out in early January. They'll include scholarships. So they'll include the merit-based scholarship. They'll include the Eagle Experience Scholarship as well, if you have qualified for that. And they'll have your need-based grants and loans that you may be eligible for. But we always recommend start looking for outside scholarships. So you might have a place that you work, whether it's Tim Hortons or Wegmans, they offer scholarships for college students. You might have scholarships within your community. You might have a parent that works for an organization that offers scholarships. Start looking for these outside scholarships. Generally, they open up in January, but it's a good thing to start looking now and kind of take some notes. And there's different deadlines. So we say always make sure that you receive or take a look at different deadlines. We are very fortunate. We have our own scholarship site. So once again, you will start working with your admissions advisor around January. We have our scholarship opportunity search that breaks it down pretty nicely for all kinds of students. So take a picture of this slide as well. This is our Office of Financial Aid. They are here to help you. They can set up individual appointments, whether that be over the phone or via Zoom. So just keep in contact with us. And so take a picture. This is the important one to take a picture of. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much, Emily. Our admissions office and financial aid office are definitely here for you throughout your entire admission and decision process. If you have any questions about the admissions process, you can email admissions@niagara.edu, or if you have questions for financial aid, you can always email finaid@niagara.edu as well. We'll be happy to help you and answer any questions you may have. First and foremost, you will be evaluating college based on the quality of their academic offerings. I can confidently say that you will be enriched with an outstanding academic experience at Niagara University. I remember coming to NU as essentially a blank slate, but through one-on-one relationships I had with my professors and the advisement I received when I came to registering for courses and staying on track with my education, I could not have asked for more. Here with us today to discuss the academic experience at Niagara U is our Associate Provost, Dr. Henrik Borgstrom. Dr. Borgstrom, can you please explain to our guests what makes the academic experience at Niagara different than any other institution we'll come across?
Thanks, Bridget. Absolutely. So I'm the Associate Provost at Niagara University, but I'm also an active faculty member. So I am in the classroom every single day. And when we talk about the really strong relationships between faculty and students, I can assure you we are the real deal. We have about an 11-to-1 student to faculty ratio. Now, you will have some larger classes, some smaller classes, but I can tell you that I have a class of 20 students and I also have a class of 7 students. So you get a lot of individual attention. And what you do not have at Niagara University are giant lecture halls full of 300 students taught by a grad student. So very strong faculty-student interaction. And on that point, all of our full-time faculty teach. That's not true at a lot of schools. In many universities, especially the larger ones, the teaching is relegated to graduate students, to teaching assistants. But here, every single one of our full-time faculty, they're doing their research, they're publishing their articles, but they're in the classroom and they're teaching all levels of courses from freshmen through the seniors. So we're really proud of that. And I think that makes for a really wonderful educational experience. And I have some really good friends who work at a larger state institution that I won't name nearby. And I stopped by to visit one day in the department. And I'm in the French department here at Niagara University, and I went to their language department. Walked down the hall and every single one of those office doors was closed. There were people inside the offices, but it was a pretty cold experience. And when I come back to my home department, I walk through the halls of Dunleavy Hall, and almost every single one of those professor office doors is open and inviting. And we are very much open to having students stop by and talk to us at any time. So it's just a different culture. It's a different atmosphere. We are really strong about faculty-student research. So every year at the end of the year, we have an undergraduate research conference where about 120 undergraduates present their research. And that is 120 students who are working individually with faculty members on any number of different research disciplines. So we have in the natural sciences, in the social sciences, in literature, just all over the map. And that is about double of what most universities offer as far as undergraduate student faculty research. Also, about 74 of our students have an internship of some kind during their 4 years at Niagara University. We're really proud of that as well. It's about 48% at most other universities. So we are really strong both with individual faculty research and the internship experience, which really is about preparing students for the world after college. We also have a very strong impact program, which I'm sure you will talk about in other sessions. This is a program that gets our students out and involved in our local community and also ties in specifically to career services. So it's not just about getting your X number of service hours done every semester. It's about a 4-year experience where you're really learning new skills that you can apply to just about any career that you choose. Finally, I want to talk especially about our academic exploration program. This is a program that wins awards just about every year. This is for students who come in their first year who may not have a perfect idea of what they want to study, what they want to specialize in. So the academic exploration program is especially for students who want to explore a number of different possibilities. They get one-on-one advisement and they get led through and guided through their 4 years until they choose a more specific discipline to follow up on. So those are some of the highlights, I think, from the academic side. And like I said, as both in the administration and face-to-face with students every day, I can tell you that this is the academic experience at NU is quite special. So thank you all.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Borgstrom. I want to take a quick moment to let our guests know that you can register for an event specific to anything that you want to learn extra about our university by visiting niagara.edu/visitnu. We have a variety of virtual events coming up soon. We have major discussions, showcase events, and then if you want to meet an NU student, we have Sunday Mondays coming up every Monday. So those are a lot of fun. At the end of the day, you're going to college because you want to get into a career or a graduate school that you absolutely love. And that's why we're ending our day before we get into your questions by showing a quick video featuring Stephanie Morris, our Director of Career Services, telling you that how NU maintains a 97% job placement rate year after year.
Good afternoon, everyone. Wanted to share a little bit with you about career services and how we really support our students in achieving their career goals. And when we say career goals, we really are referring to whether that is going on and finding employment when you leave NU, graduate NU, or going on to graduate school. So a couple of highlights from our office is that we do have what is known as our Pathways program. And the goal of the Pathways program is really to develop professionalism amongst the students. So when we think about professionalism, and I'll get to that in a few minutes, we really are talking about career readiness. So how do you take what you're learning in the classroom as well as your opportunities for engagement across campus, which all of my colleagues have shared, and put that story together to help you get to your end goal. So in a few minutes, I'll go into more detail about Pathways. We also have a very robust alumni career network. So we like to say, once a Purple Eagle, always a Purple Eagle, and we have alums that are always willing to give back when it comes to helping students, whether that is finding their career direction and or engaging with students to help them build their interview skills and potentially hosting interns. We are involved in many courses. So we do meet with students one-on-one in our offices, and we talk about resume building, job search skills, LinkedIn, interviewing, employer opportunities, but we also have a really great rapport with many faculty members across the campus. So we're actually embedded into a lot of majors where typically junior, senior year, faculty will invite us in and we will present on things like resume building, interviewing, networking. So we facilitate about 75 to 100 of those skills-based workshops each year, and that's right through coursework. We also bring approximately 300 employers to campus. So whether that be through industry-specific events or a large career fair that we host, we have an employer in residence program, and this is where many of our employers come right to campus and they facilitate practice interviews, many of which are our alum, which we're always proud to say that. And then we also host a number of career panels throughout the year. So when we think about career services and what our goal is and how we get you to goal, it is not always just about skills and helping you to put your story together, but it's also about helping you to research and understand hot topics that are going on within different industries. And so we typically achieve that through the career panels. And then graduate school preparation. So in terms of career readiness, if you know, critical thinking skills, written communication skills, leadership, teamwork, professionalism, these are all areas that are developed, whether that is through coursework, whether it is involvement on campus, whether it is through a part-time job, leadership opportunities. We can develop all of these skills through a variety of different ways. We need to learn how to put all those pieces together and tell our story, because ultimately telling our story is how we get to our goal. And so the way that we help you to put these career readiness skills together is through our Pathways program. So the Pathways program is a 4-step, we might want to call this a 4-year developmental process. And it starts with assessing yourself, in which we help you to clarify your interests, skills, and abilities. And through that process and understanding what it is that we want to do, what are the skills that we have, what are the skills we need to improve on, we're able to move on to that next step and begin that exploration process. And that's where we're discovering those possibilities. And in this phase is really where we are relying on the research of different career options. We're relying on our alumni network to act as a platform for you to facilitate an informational interview. And it's also an opportunity to kind of take a look at the courses that you've been taking, what has really resonated with you, and how can we possibly turn that into internship opportunities. And that's where we gain experience. So in terms of experience, depending upon your major, an internship is probably where most students gain their experience. However, if your major is very research heavy, that might be your experience. Experience could also be having a leadership role on campus through a different club or organization. It could be involvement within the community and taking that to the next level of not just maybe volunteering, but how are you looking to make change? And experience could also be study abroad. So we can talk with you about that, come up with a plan. And then ultimately, all of these things lead to your final year, usually, you know, that senior year where you're really thinking forward of, I've been on campus for almost 4 years and I'm going to be graduating, and what are those post-graduation goals? Am I going to have a job when I walk across the stage for graduation, or am I applying to a graduate and professional school program that meets my goals? The other thing that I wanted to focus a little bit on is our events. So we have a Career Expo, which is our all majors career and internship fair. Unfortunately, this year it had to be canceled due to COVID. However, in a typical year, we have about 125 different employers that are represented there, and probably they bring between 2 and 3 individuals from their company, and about 1/3 of them are our alums. So if that tells you something about Niagara, alums always love to come back to what they knew as their home. And so this is an all majors career and internship fair. But then outside of that, we do industry specific career fairs. So a Meet the Accounting and Finance night, a hospitality and tourism career fair, and I apologize, that should say sport, hospitality and tourism. Teacher Recruitment Day, which is a collaborative event with other local colleges and universities, and then our Greater Western New York Law Fair. As I was mentioning before, the employer panels and the information sessions, we did one in the spring that talked about how the COVID pandemic has impacted the food industry, and we have some really great ones planned for this upcoming year around the idea of mental health during the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as reimagining law enforcement. So we're pretty excited, and these are great opportunities for faculty, our office, and employers to collaborate. And as many people have mentioned, Niagara is a community, so we really do depend on these collaborations to help students. And then one of our events that is really a favorite of most students is our Dining for Success Etiquette Dinner. But this year we're transitioning that event to a networking and etiquette seminar. So as you can see, Career Services kind of touches all different areas of the campus to really help students to get to goal. The work study process is something where financial aid determines eligibility, but Krista Massaro, who is our career counselor in Career Services, she helps students with the placement process. And so the way that that works is that various offices across campus, it's about 100 openings per year. They determine if they could utilize a work study student in their office. And Krista works with the individual students that have accepted that as part of their financial aid process to interview them, place them in an office, and then through that process, our work study students actually start that Pathways program directly with Krista. So they have a point person for that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Niagara University presents so many resources for you, not only during your time here, but after as well. The Career Services Office is a resource for both our current students and alumni who are looking to hire and apply for jobs. We hope we've answered some of the questions you have about what separates Niagara University from any other colleges you may be considering. Should you have any others, please reach out to our admissions office at any time, or you can ask them now as we transition into our live Q&A session. I'm going to bring the spotlight back to Emily Olzak to help answer your questions. Emily?
Thanks, Bridget. So I do have a couple questions here. One of them was, I'm going to actually bring it back to you about international students qualifying for financial aid. Can you give a little insight on that?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I get that question a lot from our international students. So what we have decided to do this year, typically we haven't been able to offer any aid for our international students. So it's only ever been merit-based scholarships. But what I sat down with one of our leaders here at the university, and we have decided that if you express demonstrated interest in our university, and that means that you connect with me, you attend a bunch of events, you sign up for a bunch of events, you check in on your application and everything like that, we would be willing to work with you if you need to have some additional aid. So of course, we're going to need a financial declaration from you and everything like that, but we're going to work to make your process here as easy as possible. So I'll have a lot more information on that to come. So make sure you reach out to me again and ask what the status is on that. So great question.
Thank you. I'm actually going to turn it over to one of our students, Emma Carlo. Emma, this is coming to you. Can you talk a little bit about what you're involved in and what activities are on campus, even this year during COVID, et cetera?
Sure. So nice to see all of you here today. My name is Emma Carlo. I'm a senior tour guide here. I'm actually co-director of campus tours, and I study tourism, destination management. So on campus, I have found sort of involvement in a bunch of different ways. I got involved in my club through my major called the Hospitality and Tourism Association. So that's one of the main options on campus is almost every single major has their own club that you can join and meet people from your major, other students, as well as professors who may be advisors. I also am involved in women's rugby. I'm actually the captain this year. So that's very fun. We have 3 levels of sports. We have our D1, our club sports and intramurals. If you did sports in high school, plenty of opportunities here on campus. But across the board, Niagara has over 100 clubs and organizations, academic clubs, social clubs, and those sports as well. We also have a student government called NUSCA, where you can join and be a part of the legislature if you are interested in that and making decisions for the student body. Also campus activities. Campus activities in a normal non-COVID year offers many on-campus and off-campus excursions where you can pay little to nothing to go and do really fun things, such as like we do movies and munchies, which is a $5 ticket to go and see a movie. Transportation is included, the ticket is included for the movie theater and a snack. But we travel all the way to Toronto, Buffalo, really anywhere in between. And they also host many events on campus that are free for students to go get some free pizza, and those include grocery bingos. We also had ghost hunters. We've had cash cab, other fun events called Late Night Niagara. Even though we're in COVID right now, Campus Activities has not stopped working hard to get us these activities, even if they have to be virtual. So every week we've had our trivia where we can sign on and actually win cash prizes and participate in trivia. But we have had comedians. We actually had a virtual caricature drawer. So we sign on online, send a picture, and he was able to draw it for us and send it back to us. We've also had DJs, and the school works very hard to keep as many clubs and organizations and sports made it able for them to meet even in this era of COVID, whether it be virtual or whether it be in person, 6 feet of distance with masks on, which I feel like was a really brilliant effort and kept us sort of able to participate in things other than just class while we were here on campus during the coronavirus.
Thank you, Emma. I'm actually going to pass this over to one of my favorite people, Stephanie Buchikowski, our director. Stephanie, can you answer a question about if students are taking AP level courses or dual enrollment courses, what should be the process or how do they get their information to us?
Thank you, Emily. And thank you everyone for being here today. It's such a joy to see all your faces on here and interaction and questions, so please keep them coming. In terms of any test scores coming in, either AP or college level, for the AP courses, what we like to see in terms of a score is a 3 and above, okay? And then for the college level classes, a C or higher, most likely you will get college credit for that. Some majors, for example, like nursing, just because it is a little bit more rigorous curriculum, we have a little bit less wiggle room, in terms of the amount of courses you can bring in on one side. But other than that, really, there's really no issues. But, we have many electives and things that you can fulfill too within the curriculum that you have. So many of the classes come in no problem. We do get AP score reports that come in on a regular basis. So if you do have them, we will get them most likely automatically if we're listed as a school that you're interested in. But also too, if it is on your transcript, once you get advised with your academic advisor for some orientation, they'll be the ones to tell you exactly kind of what's taking the place of what. But I will say that if you would like to know possibly what you have taken or what you might be thinking of taking, we can certainly have you talk to someone who is either like an assistant dean or someone in the faculty to kind of go over what might be the best course of action for what you should take, for what you're looking at, and kind of go from there too. So you have a lot of different options, and we'll make sure we provide all that information that you need. So it'll be fine. So thanks, Emily.
Thank you, Stephanie. We had a lot of questions from students saying, how do I find out who my admissions counselor is? The best thing to do is if you weren't able to connect with someone today, just email the Office of Admissions at admissions@niagara.edu, and we will be able to connect the two of you. And as well, it's listed right on our website, so you're able to do that as well. Does anyone have any other questions?
I see a couple more in the chat here, Emily. Some questions from my international students too. So how many international students do you accept per year? Honestly, it really depends. So I consider every single student, no matter where you're from, equally. So it really depends on your academic merit and things like that that factor into your decision. But we've seen a great increase in international applications this year, so we're expecting a great growth in there as well. And then I had another friend who said they went to high school in Puerto Rico and asked if they could have their recommendations letters be written in Spanish. I think it's always preferred for them to be written in English if they can be written in English.
Thank you. We have another one about from Heron. What about credits that are earned directly from a college? Same type of thing. It would be a transcript directly from that college that you can send right to the Office of Admissions. Can I bring it back to Emma Carlo? I'm sorry, I'm going to put you on the spot to talk about your experience and even studying abroad opportunities. Students are very interested in study abroad. Thank you.
You got it. So yeah, from being involved in tourism, I've been very passionate about study abroad, and that was one of the reasons that I actually chose Niagara University. So Niagara itself offers hundreds of study abroad opportunities to countries all over the world. There really are no boundaries, and there's actually specific programs for majors as well. You are not required to take the program specified for your major, but when it comes to earning credits and earning credits back to your major, those are definitely the programs that you would like to consider to earn the most credits. But a good example is no matter what, when you decide to study abroad, as early as you can, you just start to talk to your advisor and get that into your plans, and they can work it out for you. I had an example where I did a Disney college program, which wasn't a study abroad to a different country, but I went down to Florida for 6 months. And I ended up coming back and saying, I want to go and study abroad. I want to take advantage of this opportunity that Niagara gives. So I went to my professor who leads the Peru Cultural Immersion Program through the College of Hospitality and Tourism Management, which is a 10.5-week program in Peru. And I managed to fit that into my schedule as well. So it really is just about finding the program that worked for you. You can do that also by visiting the Niagara website and looking at the study abroad opportunities, or deciding when you come here if you hear about one that works for you, and then going and talking to your advisor and working it into your schedule and getting that experience.
Thank you, Emma. I'm actually going to pass it over to another student, Casey. We have a question about the average class size and any classes that are taught by not like student teachers, meaning, you know, TAs and things like that. So can you tell a little bit about yourself, like your major and what courses you have been in?
Of course. So hi, my name is Casey Cross. I'm a senior here at NU. I'm a double major in psychology and political science with minors in gerontology, pre-law, philosophy, and women and gender studies. So the average class size is between 19 to 21, but the largest class I've ever had is probably like 30, I want to say, but it was just a gen ed. So in terms of what classes are going to be the biggest are going to be those general education classes. But I like having the small classes because it gives you the opportunity to be able to connect with your not only professor, but other students in the class. So you're never going to have to worry about not being seen or heard in a classroom or not being able to answer questions or anything like that. So between 19 to 21 is the average class size, but so that's just, that's what I've seen is most of them are under 30.
Thank you, Casey. I appreciate it for jumping in there for us. Again, the best thing is to do is ask the students. They know more than we do. That's what I always say. I don't see anything else in here unless I missed something.
Emily, I did notice a question about retention. Someone had asked. Our retention rate is extremely high compared to national average. It's about roughly around 85%. So very proud of that number for sure. Students that come, they stay. So it's nice. But it was mentioned in terms of like a major or minor, but it really, I can't say we have a breakdown of between major and minor of retention, but what happens is you enter in with your major. So that retention rate's across the board, just students in general, no matter what your major or minor is. But you come in, you know, with the major that you've been accepted into. And also a great thing I want to mention too is when you get accepted to Niagara, you get accepted directly into your program. So you're taking those classes immediately as a freshman, you know, getting in there right away. So it's great for both reasons. If you have your heart set on something, it's wonderful. You're getting in there, getting the experience that you need. But I think it also helps you realize early if it's not what you want to do. It doesn't hurt you too much if you think, oh, maybe I do want to change my major. Average college student changes majors 3 times over the 4 years. So if you don't know what you want to do, it's completely normal. And you may not know even once you get here. So it's completely fine with that. And also is having a great undecided program as well. But I think it's important to know that you do get into the major right away. And you will choose a minor actually once you're here as a student. So you don't declare something like that until you're actually getting advised on that and talking with your advisor. So at that point is when you would declare a minor. So I just wanted to mention that about retention. But yes, it's very high. So we're happy about that. But great question.
Stephanie, would you be able to talk about the average GPA of first-year students coming in? We had a question about that, what the average would be.
Yeah, so coming in, what we do, we will look at your cumulative average from the end of your junior year, and that's roughly about an 85 or so is what we like to see. And we, as was mentioned before, we are a test optional school, and we have been for about 3 years, so it's nice that we didn't have to change too many things when everything kind of happened with COVID. But it's just nice to know that you have that option if you would like to. And we're test optional now. Well, the whole country is pretty much, so I didn't really have a choice. But it's so test optional across the board, like we mentioned, even with our trustees level scholarship, because in the past, our merit scholarship level is actually when you come in. We will qualify you for that right away. And they start at $10,000 and go all the way up to $23,000 a year. And that money is, we let you know what that is, like Emily had mentioned before, right along with your acceptance letter. So you know everything in that matter of that rolling admission, like 2 to 3 week time frame. So we move pretty quickly, which is nice. And so with that being said, looking at those two things, whether you apply test optional or not, we still are able to figure out what your merit scholarship is. And for nursing though, I have to say, just to kind of give a little bit of information on that, because I think it's important, because I think we have some interested nursing students here. Nursing is a very different program because it's our only competitive program that we have. We do definitely recommend applying early if you can. We offer about 90 seats and process roughly 700 applications. So I think that kind of tells you the competitiveness of it. So if you're able to get it in, I recommend it. And like I said, so because it is competitive, a little bit higher requirements, we will look at your cumulative average from junior year, like to see about a 90 and above. And if you are supporting or submitting SATs to us to support your application, we would like to see for nursing about 1100 and above. And for SATs, if you are submitting them, even for general admission, not for anything like nursing, it's roughly probably about a 10, 20 or so is what we like to see. But for nursing in particular, like actually I will say for every major that we have, is a very holistic review of your application. If you don't have those certain numbers, it doesn't mean you're not going to get accepted. We look at, that's why we're saying essay is so important, letters of recommendation, all those kinds of things you're involved in. And it's just the time to really sell yourself, because we look at everything as your counselors. So definitely having all that in as much as you, just really building up your application as much as you can. I think it's very important. So yeah, so for nursing, I want to mention that just quickly, because it is a little bit different. So, but other than that, everything's still too, and it's the rolling admission as well. So there's really no deadline.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Mhm.
We had another question in regards to tuition, if it was per year or per semester. Our numbers are all per year. It is broken down on the website for you to be able to see what it would be per semester, but it is broken down so you can see the differences and what you'd be paying first semester compared to second. But we put the lump sum in all for the entire year. We had another question about, can you switch programs after being accepted? So students obviously change their mind, and that's normal, right? Like Stephanie said, students change their majors about 3 times an average when they attend college. So you might think you're interested in something right now, and then come May, you say, I want to go into something completely different. Depending on the major, it could be an easy switch. Others would have to be reevaluated. So your admissions advisor would have to reevaluate, like Stephanie said about nursing, biology, those hardcore competitive majors would have to be reevaluated. So again, just staying in communication with your admissions advisor would be the best bet. Another question was, are classes going to be taught online for first year students? The university is doing the best we can to have students in person. That is why we are trying to be safe even today. So we are, it's to be determined. We're hoping obviously by fall next year that things will be back to normal and everybody will be able to be on campus like we have been. It has been, our students this year have been on campus until just very recently. So again, taking caution and precautions, being safe. Our students have done a really tremendous job. I owe them a lot for keeping us safe on campus. So we're hoping the same for next year as well. Great question though, and it's on everybody's mind. So it is a very good question. Am I missing anything, Bridget?
I do see one about study abroad, a couple about study abroad and tuition. Okay, so I do like to mention it this way. So my one friend did do a, I think it's called Explore the World, study abroad through another university. And since it was through a partner university that we had, I believe that her financial aid was able to transfer over. But it really depends on which situation you use. The study abroad that I did, I spent a week in Amsterdam in the Netherlands, and I didn't have any tuition assistance on that, but those trips are very affordable as well. And then a couple more questions. about acceptance rate, room and board.
We also had another question about the residence halls. I'm going to pick on one of our students here. Grace, would you like to talk a little bit about the residence halls?
Sure. So if you do plan on dorming, we do have 2 specific buildings that freshmen will be dorming in. If you choose to be a resident your freshman year, and then those buildings are called O'Shea Hall and Seton Hall. They both consist of double rooms where you have like one other roommate, but Seton Hall does have a few triple rooms where you'd have 2 different roommates, and they consist of like different furniture in the room, like so they provide you with like a bed, like a wardrobe, if you can see mine back here, like a desk, some drawers. It's a lot of space, and it's really nice. I this year don't have a roommate, which was an option for COVID. If you didn't feel comfortable rooming with someone, you did have the option of living in a single for the price of a double, which was really a nice addition, and with the uncertainty of like the virus and everything going on. So that was a good opportunity to have. Are there any like specific questions about dorming at all? I can answer that.
No, they just wanted to know the name of them. So thank you so much.
Okay.
We had another question about the scholarships. So scholarships, like we said, they range from your merit-based scholarships are anywhere from 10,000 to 23,000, depending on your GPA and what materials that you submit. So you will get that letter with your acceptance letter. So it ranges anywhere from $10,000 to $23,000 merit-based alone. And like Stephanie has just mentioned, with tuition, with room and board, it's approximately around $48,000 a year. And again, people get scared by the sticker price of a private school, but we never want finances to be the issue. So working with your admissions advisor, we give out a lot of specific scholarships. Again, even attending today, you are in the running for receiving the $1,500. So we give a lot of money away, and outside scholarships are also very important to look at this time. Great questions.
Can I just say something really quick, Emily? I just want to mention with the Eagle Experience Scholarship that we do have, the deadline for it is tomorrow. Is that right? Is it the 15th? Stay the 14th. So still super easy to check off all the boxes. It's very easy because obviously you've done one by being here today. If your application is in by tomorrow, it doesn't have to be completed. You don't have to have all your materials with it and everything like that. It just has to be actually in our system and submitted. But you still, so absolutely still have that time. And then, now that you kind of have the information on who your counselor is, it'd be something as simple as just, finding out who they are on the website, shooting them over like an email or a text or something, and just saying, went to the open house, the virtual open house today. It was nice. And I just want to let you know I'm submitting my application, or something along those lines. So you could still, get everything in and have everything completed, by tomorrow to qualify for that. So I just want to make sure for those of you that are seniors, of course, this year. So I just want to make sure to point that out.
Perfect, thank you. There was one more question about, are there going to be a webinar for specific programs, like information for specific programs? So we do offer, we call them showcases. So we try to do different, nursing has a showcase, or pre-health programs, College of Education, our academic exploration program. We offer these webinars, the virtual meetings, these showcases. You can visit our website if you, and they'll have all the list. If you just put niagara.edu, visit, you'll be able to see the full list of showcases. We've been offering them throughout the fall, and we'll continue to offer them all throughout the winter months as well. Great questions. We have a chatty group today, which is good. Did I miss anything? Thank you to all my students for hopping on. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you guys so much. That was a really informative session right there. If you have any more questions, like I said, you can always send a quick email to admissions@niagara.edu and they'll be able to help you out. I hope you all found today beneficial. Since we're sure you'll have any more additional questions, like I said, email your admissions advisor at admissions@niagara.edu, or you can visit niagara.edu/ table-talk to learn more about the specific offices of our university. If you want to attend any additional events, I put it in the chat there. You can visit www.niagara.edu/visit-NU. This concludes our virtual event for today. And again, please, please, please do not hesitate to reach out. If you have any questions, we are here to help you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe, and we hope to see you at Niagara University soon. Take care.